Hello, everyone, and welcome to the W.O.W. Words of Wisdom with the Washingtons. Today, we want to talk to you about road signs. Truthfully, most of us take for granted the purpose in which road signs are intended, especially when something unexpected happens and it causes a delay in timing when we're supposed to be somewhere. However, these signs are designed to regulate, to guide, and to warn us to prevent chaos on the roadways. For instance, the warning sign warns of an uneven, rough surface. I like to think that this sign brings about spiritual wisdom as it prepares us for what's coming ahead. God reminds us in His Word in Jeremiah 31:9, I will lead them through the streams of water on a level path where they will not stumble. You see, what this scripture says to us is to keep moving, even when you feel like you want to stop and park.
Exactly. Stop and park. You see, observing road signs is like recognizing God's promptings. When we follow His guidance, the route is so much smoother. Often, though, we choose to ignore the signs. We believe that we know the road better and choose our own directions. We then face a meandering route, often more painful and time-consuming. We can lose sight of our destination as we frantically seek the signs to get back on the right road. You see, road signs exist in our spiritual life as well. Sometimes road signs are visible. Other times, you won't even notice them until it's too late. You see, The Lord places them to prepare us for upcoming changes. They come when the Lord stirs our spirit. They show up in the words of friends and family. They emerge from the words of Scripture.
And that is so true. They do emerge from the words of Scripture. And here's what I think we're saying to the people, that there will be times when you come to a detour, road construction, or an exit sign. But never look at them the same, because it's the journey God has you on. You see, God often put detours in your path because He has something different in mind. The road construction that you encounter is just God at work in your life. And know that the process may look messy right now because you're under construction. But trust God, because He says in His Word in Philippians 2:13, for it is God who works in you and will act in order to fulfill His good purposes. So know that no matter how long your road trip takes, there eventually comes an exit sign that tells you that you have reached your planned destination.
Exactly.
Your planned destination.
You see, in Proverbs 22:3, it tells us, a prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. I had to say that again. A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. You see, I want to focus on that word simple. You see, simple here means those prone to evil, those without moral direction. It refers to people who just want to do their own thing as they see fit. People who move about as if there are no consequences for the things that they do. You see, isn't it frustrating when you think you are headed in the right direction and suddenly the sign says, road closed ahead? My first reaction is usually, what? What do you mean this road is closed? It was open yesterday. You know what? Listen, when you ignore the warning signs and step across clearly stated boundaries for your life, you will absolutely compromise God's intended future for you. You can't get down the road where God desires to take you if you are ignoring the road signs. As Christians, we shouldn't have pitch a fit or get overwhelmed. We can just rest in knowing that God is the one who opens and closes doors in our lives. Someone once said, God's refusals are his greatest mercies.
That is so true, honey. God's refusals is his greatest mercies. And we are reminded of that in Psalms 32:8 when he states, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. So here's my challenge to you all. The next time you are driving, pay attention to the road signs and ask yourself, what direction is God pointing me in?
All right. What direction is God pointing you in? You see, family, when you ignore road signs in your life, you will likely be dragging other people down with you. That's one thing people like to overlook or minimize, how your sin impacts other people. When you feed unholy desires, they are never satisfied. They only grow, and they take more and more evil things that God says are off limits. You are headed for trouble. That is a warning sign. But I want to talk to somebody this morning. Some of you out there today haven't been real open to godly counsel. You don't want to listen to the advice of others. You have shut out the voice of truth because at times because you wanted to what you wanted, and you weren't going to have anybody telling you what to do. That kind of arrogance is foolishness and destructive. We all need direction. We all need correction. We all need perspective. We all need wisdom of godly people in our lives.
Yes.
When you start to desire things you should desire, you are creating a pattern for your future. You will be led by your desires rather by the Spirit and the will of God. Hey, I got a quote for y'all today out there. You see, you've got to think about the big things while you're doing small things so that the small things go in the right direction. I got to say that again. You got to think about the big things while you're doing small things so that the small things go in the right direction. Hey, I just love you guys, and just remember to pay attention to the road signs.
That is so true, honey, and that was a great message that you had for the people. I hope that you have been blessed by this devotion today, and we're asking that you never look at those road signs again. Never the same. So, honey, why don't you go ahead and close us out?
And always remember, blessed are those who find wisdom.
And most importantly, gain understanding.
Be blessed.
And thank you for tuning into the WOW, Words of Wisdom with the Washingtons.